Welcome into the Charleston County Connects podcast, and today we are joined by Mackenzie Kelley. She is with our Public Works Department. She is the Pavement Manager as well as a Construction Project Manager. That's a lot of titles. Yes. So you're an engineer by trade. What made you decide to get into engineering and actually get into working on roads, transportation, infrastructure?
Right. So ever since I was little, I've always wanted to do projects that would help others, help the community. And then I also really enjoy solving problems, and my day-to-day job would be different every day. And so that's kind of how I found myself towards, engineering field. And then when I moved to Charleston, I applied for a job in it used to be transportation development, but it's now public works, as a road inspector. And I started there about 8 years ago, and fell in love with working at the county and what I do.
So as a kid, though, when you were thinking about being an engineer, did you build stuff? Did you play in the road, which you're not supposed to do?
Not supposed to do.
It's possible.
I guess it was more like buildings and stuff. Actually, when I was really little, I wanted to be a veterinarian. And I did an internship, and it didn't go well. May or may not have passed out.
That's fair.
And then I liked math and science, so...
Okay, so transition from veterinarian to engineer.
Right, still helping people.
Still helping people, yeah. At Charleston County, though, you've been very busy. And I'll start by recently, you guys won an award you'll be collecting in San Diego in August. I'm going to struggle with this. The titanium dioxide pilot program.
Yes.
So you're going to have to take the engineering out of that and help our listeners and viewers understand what that means.
Definitely. So for the last decade, a part of our pavement management program is doing a preservation. So we have been doing this preservation. It's called reclamite, and essentially it's if you have a wooden deck at your home, we're going to put a seal coat on it that's going to protect the road from sun and water. Our contractor, Pavement Technology, recently figured out if you add titanium dioxide to the mix, it can have a lot of environmental improvements to the road and the environment around the road, and they asked to partner with us a few years ago. So in 2021 of May, we did our first pilot project in the Rosemont community, and we aimed to do the Rosemont community because we felt they'd have the biggest benefit in all of Charleston County. So some of the benefits from this project includes reducing air impact, so it's going to clean the air. So we found in our cores that we sent to Texas A&M, we're able to reduce vehicle exhaust or nitrogen oxide by almost 40%, which is significant. So Rosemont, it's right along the interstate, kind of in the neck of Charleston, if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, it's also going to be 4 times emissive or reflective compared to an untreated road. So that means it's going to help with the heat island impact. If we can get the heat out of Charleston, which we all know it's hot enough here.
It's warm. It's warm.
Pretty warm.
Yeah.
And then it also recently found out that it can eliminate all of the microplastics. So I don't know if you've seen in the news recently, they found microplastics in your blood or in your lungs. So if we can eliminate it right at the source, there's a lot of microplastics that come out of tire wear or brake pads. And if we can stop them from getting into our oceans, it should help improve the environment that way as well. And then while doing all those environmental impacts, we're also extending the life of the road by about 5 years with the treatment, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when a road's only 20 years old lifespan, that's pretty significant that we can improve and stretch those taxpayer money more.
And really the cost to repair anything just about nowadays is increasing. Yes. So in a lot of the evaluations you're doing for different projects, you have to weigh cost. And what you guys are doing here is keeping that road better longer.
Right, so this treatment is about 10 times less than resurfacing a road, which is kind of comparing apples to oranges, but if you see the price difference, we can extend it so we don't get to the point where we have to resurface it.
Okay. Outside of what you guys have won the award for, which is very cool, you do pavement management around Charleston County, and that includes the unincorporated and the incorporated areas, which is in city of North Charleston, city of Charleston, town of Mount Pleasant. How do you guys go about selecting which roads are going to be resurfaced?
So about every 3 years, we have a data collection van come in, and it's going to survey every single road in our database. So again, the roads in our database is essentially every single public paved road in the county, except for the interstates or your major highways like 17. And that van's going to measure the amount of ruts in the road, the amount of cracks, doesn't do raveling, but other pavement distresses. And then it takes all that data and we put it into our pavement management system, which will sort and analyze. And then we're able to make strategies and payment plans based on this objective and verifiable data that we know will help be the best decisions for the county.
It's a challenge, though, because everybody, there are a lot of roads in Charleston County, only so much money, so much staff, so much time to go around. What's the interaction like with citizens when they call or request help with the road?
Right, so anybody can make a request. We have that on our website. The email will come directly to me, and I'll do an evaluation of the road. We'll look at it in the field as well as where it falls in our database, and I can usually give you a projection of when we think it will be up for resurfacing.
And when you do the resurfacing, does that cover potholes, striping?
That's right. So for resurfacing alone, we will do full depth patching, which is where you correct the base failures in the road, and then also the striping. But we do have a whole lot of tools in our toolbox. So we do, like we talked about earlier, the preservation, or we might do like a microsurface or a thin lift of asphalt, and then resurfacing. And then the most extensive would be like a full depth reclamation, whereas you go down about a foot or two into the road and rebuild like the earth, basically start over.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing I've noticed about the resurfacing projects. I mean, the time once you break ground to get it completed is nowhere near what it is to build a new road.
Right.
On average, how quickly are you guys getting resurfacing jobs done on a side road, for instance?
So if the road has curb and gutter, we'll have to mill it. That might take a day, and then before that, you'll have to patch the road, which might be a day or two. So you could probably knock out a road in a week.
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting, of course.
Yeah. What do you foresee in the future as it relates to pavement management? You have the titanium dioxide program going on. You have the resurfacing. What are you looking at down the road?
We have a couple other pilot projects coming up. One that's kind of gotten popular, Greenville had a successful project. It's called hot in place recycling, and essentially, without getting too technical, it's a long train, and they're going to dig up about the 2 inches into the road, recycle it, and it immediately goes back onto the road with, on top of that, a new fresh layer of asphalt. So instead of taking a week to resurface, it takes us a couple hours. The road will be right back to where it was by the end of the day.
And it uses the existing material?
It does. 100% recycles it.
Oh, it's like a Zamboni for roads.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. We just coined that. I think that's going to work out well.
I like that. But we're looking to do Patriots Point hopefully this fall. That's the one we're eyeing, and maybe National Drive in Mount Pleasant and a couple others.
Cool. All right. Anything about what you do in pavement management that we didn't touch on?
I do want to highlight, we made some updates to our website recently. So if you want to go there, there's some information. There's also this new map that will show you the condition of your road, so you can see where it rates compared to other roads in the county. And then we also have all of our pavement plans that are currently going on or recently done, if you want to see if your road's on a list.
Okay, and we will link all that information below in the episode description so people can click on it. And again, if you wanted to submit your road for evaluation, that'll go right to Mackenzie, so please be nice to her. Mackenzie, one more question for you.
Okay.
What kind of charts do engineers use after Thanksgiving?
I don't know what.
Pie charts.
I love that.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Well, we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll be back next time on the Charleston County Connects podcast.